The silence, she thought, no one-hearted cameras had stopped rolling. The lights were being dimmed. People were laughing, some yawning, some already heading out with coffee in one hand and their phones in the other. The day had been long on set, with tension hiding under every take. No one said it out loud, but everyone felt it. Ana de Armas sat quietly in her dressing room, trying to keep her face from trembling. She had done it again, smiled for the camera, delivered her lines, hit her marks. No one noticed the way her voice cracked during the last scene. No one paid attention when she disappeared faster than usual once the director yelled, "Cut!" But someone did notice Keanu Reeves had a way of moving quietly, like he belonged to every room without needing to take space in it. He didn't talk much unless it mattered. He didn't gossip, but he listened. Deeply, Ana sat on the small couch, back straight, like she'd been trained in ballet as a child, hands resting on her lap. But her eyes, they betrayed her. They were glassy, red-rimmed, and when she was sure no one would hear, a quiet sob escaped her lips. The walls were thin. She didn't know that Keanu had been passing by. He had taken a longer way out on purpose. Not because he had to, but because something didn't sit right with him. The way Ana had looked at the floor when they wrapped the final shot, the way she hadn't smiled like she usually did. He didn't want to intrude, but he couldn't ignore the heaviness in the air. And then he heard it. Not loud, not dramatic, just one small sob. It stopped him in his tracks. Keanu stood there, frozen for a moment, unsure. Maybe it wasn't his place. Maybe she wanted to be alone. But maybe she didn't. He walked gently to the door, didn't knock, didn't push it open, just stood there, speaking soft enough that only she would hear. "Ana, it's me. I don't mean to bother you. I just heard something. If you want to talk or not talk, I'm here. Just letting you know." Inside, Ana wiped her face quickly, embarrassed. "I'm okay," she said, but her voice was weak, like it didn't even believe itself. Keanu didn't move. He didn't leave. "Okay," he said softly, "but I'll sit outside for a bit. If that's all right, I'll be right here." And he did. No questions, no pressure. Ana sat in silence, heart pounding. She stared at the wall for a long time. Then something broke inside her. Not in a painful way, but in a quiet, peaceful way. Someone had heard her. Someone had stayed. After a few minutes, she opened the door slowly. Keanu looked up, eyes calm, kind. "Can I come in?" he asked. Gently, she nodded. He stepped inside, sat on the floor beside the couch, didn't take a chair, didn't look at her directly, just sat. And in that space, where no cameras rolled, where no lines had to be said, Ana felt safe. "I don't know why I'm crying," she whispered. "It's been building, I think, for weeks, maybe months." Keanu nodded slowly. "Sometimes it takes just one quiet moment for everything to come out." She looked at him, her voice trembling. "I feel like I have to be perfect all the time. I smile even when I'm breaking. I show up even when I can't breathe. No one sees it." Keanu looked at the floor, then up at her. "I see it." Her eyes filled again. "But you're strong," she said. "You always seem calm, centered. How do you do it?" He smiled softly. "I'm not always calm. I've just learned to sit with the storm. Sit with it. Yes. Not fight it, not hide it. Just sit with it. Let it speak." Ana looked away, biting her lip. "I'm tired, Keanu." He didn't say anything. Just nodded. She finally leaned back, her shoulders dropping. "Thank you for not walking away." He gave a gentle smile. "You'd do the same for me." They sat there in silence. But this time, the silence didn't hurt. And just like that, something shifted between them. Not romance, not drama. It's truth. To artists, to humans, sitting in their shared truth. Outside, people moved past the door. The world kept spinning. But inside that room, time slowed. Ana didn't know it yet, but this quiet moment would be the start of something much deeper. Because when someone hears you cry and stays, that changes everything. And Keanu, he had stayed. The day she almost walked away, Ana didn't sleep that night. She lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, feeling every breath like it was something she had to earn. She had talked to Keanu. She had cried in front of him. And now, she felt exposed, embarrassed, and yet somehow lighter. It had been years since someone just sat with her and didn't try to fix her. Didn't try to tell her everything would be okay. Keanu hadn't offered answers. He had just been there. But something else haunted her, a feeling she had pushed down for months. She wasn't sure she could keep doing this. The movie they were filming was beautiful, no doubt. The story was powerful. The crew was talented. But lately, every morning she walked onto set, it felt like walking into a fog she couldn't escape. Like pretending to be someone else was the only way she could hide from who she really was. And that morning, when she looked in the mirror, she whispered something out loud. "I don't know if I can go today." The words hung in the air, shocking even her. She had never missed a day, not once. She got dressed anyway. On set, things were normal on the outside. Makeup, wardrobe, lights, people buzzing. Someone handed her coffee she didn't ask for. Another assistant dropped off the revised script pages, but no one looked into her eyes, except Keanu. He was already there when she arrived, standing off to the side, talking softly to a crew member. When he saw her, he didn't smile, he didn't wave, he just nodded. The kind of nod that says, "I see you, even today." That nod gave her strength for one more hour, but after the first scene, something snapped. The director wanted her to redo a close-up again and again. He said, "You're not showing enough pain. Give me more." Anna tried. She gave him everything she had left. Her voice cracked. Her eyes watered. But it wasn't enough. "Cut," the director said, rubbing his temples. "Anna, are you even present today?" The words stung. Not because they were harsh, but because they were so far from the truth. She was too present, too raw, too full, and she was breaking. She didn't respond. She walked off set. People called her name. Assistants hurried behind her. One tried to hand her a towel and water. Another asked if she needed a minute. She kept walking, outside behind the soundstage. There was a small bench near the fence. No one ever sat there. It was her secret spot when the noise got too loud. She sat down, breathing hard, fists clenched, and then slowly, steps. She didn't look up. She didn't have to. "It's me," Keanu said softly, "just like the night before." "How did you know I'd be here?" she asked, voice strained. He sat beside her, again not taking up space, not pressing close, just near enough to feel real. "You looked like you needed somewhere quiet," he said. Anna covered her face with both hands. "I can't do this anymore," she whispered. "I'm trying so hard, but nothing is ever enough." "What?" Keanu was quiet for a moment. Then he spoke. Not like an actor, not like a friend, but like someone who had walked through the same darkness. "You are enough. Right now. Without a perfect take, without a smile." Anna shook her head. "I feel like everyone's waiting for me to be something, and if I can't be that, they'll stop caring." "The right people never stop caring," he said. She looked at him then, really looked. His face was kind, but not soft. It was weathered, like someone who had carried things and never told the world. "Have you ever felt like quitting?" She asked. He nodded slowly, more times than you'd think. "What stopped you?" Keanu stared at the fence in front of them. The wind moved through the trees. Out. It was quiet, almost peaceful. "Someone sat with me," he said. "Someone didn't walk away when I broke." Anna felt tears rise again. Not from pain this time, but from a strange, gentle comfort. "You're that person now," she said. Keanu smiled a little. "It goes in circles. We hold each other up. That's how we make it." She leaned her head back against the bench. "What if tomorrow feels just as heavy? Then I'll be right here again," he said. "On this same bench if you want." Anna laughed softly through her tears. "You're serious, aren't you?" "Always," Keanu said. They sat there as the sun moved across the sky, saying nothing more. The world went on without them for a little while, and for the first time in weeks. Anna didn't feel like she had to run. She just had to breathe. The coffee that wasn't about Kayfee's next morning was cold, and gray clouds hung low over the studio lot. Rain whispered softly on the rooftops, not enough to cancel filming, but just enough to make everything feel slower. Heavier Anna walked into the studio with her head down, hoodie pulled up, hoping to slip past the early crowd unnoticed. Not because she was worried, but because her heart was still full from yesterday. She hadn't broken. Keanu had found her, and somehow that made all the difference. As she stepped into the makeup trailer, she found a small cup sitting on her chair. A coffee, warm, plain, no sugar, just how she liked it. No name on it, no note. But she smiled. She already knew who it was from. Keanu walked in just a few minutes later, his hands tucked in his coat pockets. He didn't say anything. He just glanced toward her, nodded once, then sat quietly as the team worked on him. Anna didn't say anything either. But when she looked in the mirror and caught his reflection, she smiled again. It was the first real smile in days. They started filming early. The scenes were heavy, emotional flashbacks. Lots of quiet pauses, unspoken pain between characters. Normally, these scenes drained her. It made her feel like her own sadness was seeping into the script. But today, she felt something different. Grounded, like the emotion came from a place she wasn't afraid of anymore at one point. After an intense close-up, the director stepped forward, shocked. "Anna," he said, "that was incredible." She blinked, confused. "Really?" He nodded. "I don't know what changed, but that was raw, honest, exactly what the scene needed." She gave a small smile, hiding the real answer inside her heart. During lunch, she sat alone outside, under a tree, picking at her food. Not because she didn't want to be around people, but because she wanted quiet. Then she heard it again. Soft footsteps. "Mind if I join you?" Keanu asked, holding his own lunch tray. "Of course not," she said, scooting over. They ate in silence at first, just the sound of birds in the trees and distant voices from set. Finally, Anna spoke. "Thank you." For the coffee, Keanu looked at her, then back at his food. "You looked like you needed one." "It wasn't about the coffee," she said. He nodded. "I know." Anna hesitated, then took a deep breath. "I used to think showing weakness made you less valuable," she said. "Like people would stop respecting you if they saw you cry." Keanu looked up, eyes steady. "People who respect you more when you hide your pain aren't really your people." She nodded slowly. "You're not what I expected," she whispered. He tilted his head. "How do you mean?" "You're famous. Everyone loves you, but you act like none of it matters. You're just present, kind." Keanu smiled gently. "Fame doesn't mean much if you're not human anymore." Anna looked at him, really looked. "I'm trying to be better," she said. "Not just as an actor, but as a person." "You already are," he said softly. "You just forgot for a little while." The wind picked up, blowing a few leaves. Across the table, Anna caught one, holding it between her fingers. "Can I ask you something personal?" she said. Keanu nodded. "How do you stay so grounded after everything?" He was quiet for a long moment. Then he leaned back against the bench. "I lost someone. A long time ago," he said. "Someone I loved more than words." Anna didn't interrupt. After that, he continued, "I realize life is short and fragile, and no award or red carpet matters if you're empty inside. So now, I try to be present. With people, with pain, with joy, even with silence." Anna's eyes filled again, not out of sadness, but understanding. "You don't run from your pain," she whispered. "No," he said. "I sit with it. And I sit with others when they need that too." She reached across the table, her hand resting gently on his. "Thank you," she said. "Not just for listening, but for seeing me." Keanu looked at her hand, then back at her face. Anytime. The rain had stopped. Clouds were starting to break. The day felt lighter, and Anna, for the first time in a long time, felt like she wasn't walking alone anymore. The rumor that almost broke her again the week after the rain brought more than sunshine. It brought pressure. The movie's teaser had dropped online. and already the internet was filled with reactions. Some were full of praise, others weren't. Anna had learned long ago not to read comments, but something about this time pulled her in. Maybe it was curiosity. Maybe it was fear. She opened one post out of habit, thinking it was just a headline. But the comment section was a storm. Anna looks tired in this scene. Keanu carries every emotional beat. Anna just stares. She okay? She seems off lately. Anna closed her phone quickly. Her stomach twisted. It wasn't just the words, it was the feeling behind them. Like strangers thought they had. The right to define her worth. She tried to shake it off, but she couldn't. On set that day, she was quieter than usual. She forced a smile when people passed her, but her eyes were distant. During a break, a makeup assistant leaned over and whispered without thinking, "Hey, someone said you almost quit last week. Is that true?" Anna froze. "What?" "A rumor going around that you walked off set and, well, Keanu had to calm you down or something." The words hit her like cold water. Anna forced a small laugh. No, nothing like that. But her heart sank. It had been one moment of honesty. One moment where she let herself feel. Now it was turning into something ugly. She tried to stay focused. She tried to push through, but by lunch, she was gone. Not physically. Emotionally. Keanu noticed it the moment she walked into the scene. They were filming together. Her face was too still. Her lines felt flat. Her body was there, but her spirit wasn't, after the director called cut. Keanu stepped aside and waited near the sound equipment. He didn't go to her. He just waited. When Anna finally walked by, he spoke softly. "Bench?" he asked. She paused, then nodded. They walked out again, past the trailers, to the little bench under the trees. The same spot where everything began. She sat down with a heavy sigh, arms wrapped around herself. "They're talking about me," she said. "Who?" "The crew. The internet." Keanu didn't ask what they said. Didn't need to. "And what do you say about you?" he asked Anna. Looked at him confused. "What?"
"What's your voice saying in all that noise?"
She looked away. "My voice is tired," she whispered. "It's been drowned out." Keanu was quiet for a moment. "Then let's find it again," he said. "How?" "By remembering that you're more than what they see. You're not the close-up shot. You're not the trailer. You're not their opinion." Anna felt her eyes sting. "It just hurts," she said. "People turning something soft and private into gossip, like crying, makes me weak." Keanu leaned forward, elbows on his knees. "You know what I see?" he said. Double quotes, "What?" "I see someone strong enough to cry, strong enough to sit with pain, strong enough to keep showing up when it would be easier to disappear." Anna let his words sink in. "What if they keep talking?" she asked. "Let them," Keanu said softly. "Shh. Truth doesn't need to shout to be real." Anna closed her eyes. For a moment, all the noise faded. When she opened them, she looked up. "At the leaves above? Why are you always here?" she asked. Keanu smiled gently. "Because someone once showed up for me, and I promised myself I'd do the same if I ever saw someone drowning in silence." Anna looked at him for a long time. "You saved me," she whispered. Keanu shook his head. "No, you saved yourself. I just reminded you you could." They sat on the bench for a while longer. No words needed. The world around them kept moving. But in that small pocket of time, Anna felt like she had taken her voice back. And this time, she wouldn't give it up so easily. The day she stood toll filming had moved into its final stretch. The last few weeks had been intense. Schedule was packed. Emotions ran high. The pressure to deliver was heavier than ever. But something inside Anna had shifted. Not because things got easier, but because she stopped hiding. She stopped pretending to be unshakable. She showed up on set with honesty in her eyes and calm in her steps. She wasn't afraid to say, "I need a minute." She wasn't afraid to laugh when something went wrong. And when someone whispered something behind her back, she didn't shrink anymore. She just kept walking. Keanu noticed. So did the crew. Even the director, who who had once pushed her too hard, began giving quiet nods of approval between takes. Whatever you're doing, he told her one day, keep doing it. It's working. But on a Tuesday afternoon, Storm came back. The final scene of the film was a difficult one, not in action, but in emotion. Her character had to break down completely, in silence. No lines, just pure feeling. Anna had practiced.
Yes, she had.
Worked hard to reach that place, but just before the cameras rolled, someone from wardrobe walked by and made a careless comment. Hope she doesn't cry for real this time, the woman laughed. She might walk off again. Anna froze. The words were quiet, but sharp. The crew member didn't even notice the impact. She kept walking. Anna's hands trembled slightly. For a moment, all her progress felt like it was cracking again. The doubts returned like a wave. Maybe I'm too emotional. Maybe I'm not strong enough. Maybe they'll never take me seriously. Stared at the floor then, a familiar voice, calm and steady. Anna. She turned. Keanu was standing nearby. He had heard. Of course he had. But he didn't look angry. He didn't look sad. He looked proud. You okay? He asked. Anna took a breath. No, she said honestly. But I'm not running. Keanu smiled gently. That's strength. She stepped into the scene minutes later, heart pounding but head high. The cameras rolled. The lights were hot. Everyone watched, but Anna didn't think about them. She thought about her journey, the tears in the dressing room, the quiet bench, talks, the coffee that wasn't about coffee, the rumor that tried to crush her, the man who never walked away, and slowly the emotion rose, not forced, not fake, real. And when the director whispered, "Cut," the room was silent. No one moved then. Slowly, the crew began to clap, the kind of clap that starts small but grows. Anna stood there, chest rising and falling, tears still on her face, but they weren't tears of pain anymore. They were victory. Later that day, the sun dipped low, and the final shots wrapped. Keanu found her sitting alone again. But this time, she wasn't curled in. She wasn't hiding. She was peaceful. He sat beside her. You did it? He said. She looked at him. No, we did. He shook his head. This was all you, Anna. She gave him a warm smile. Maybe. But I needed someone to remind me who I was. Keanu looked out at the horizon. Then I'm glad I was there. Anna leaned back, watching the sky turn orange. Double quotes, Keanu? Yeah. When this is over, and the cameras are gone, will we still talk? He looked at her, eyes steady. I'm not a set friend, he said. I'm a life friend. Anna felt something deep in her chest. Me too, she said. And they sat there, not actors anymore, not performers, just two people who had walked through a quiet storm together and came out stronger on the other side. The moment that changed everything 2 weeks later, the film wrapped. The cameras were packed, the trailers were gone. The sets were torn down, the studio lot that once buzzed with life now stood quiet, as if it had breathed its last word and waited. For something new to begin, Anna stood in the middle of the now empty soundstage. Alone, the echoes of every moment they had filmed still lingered. She could almost hear the director shouting action, the soft hum of the lights, the quiet footsteps of crew moving around her. She could even remember exactly where Keanu had stood that day. She almost gave up. She closed her eyes and smiled. This wasn't just a movie anymore. This was the place she rediscovered herself. Footsteps approached. She didn't need to turn to know it was him. You came back too. She asked. Keanu's voice was calm. Couldn't let this place fade without saying goodbye. Anna looked around. It feels different now, like everything that happened here is part of me, as Keanu said. I didn't think I would make it, she whispered. Not just through the film. Through everything. But you did, he said. Not because it was easy, but because you were honest. Anna nodded, swallowing emotion. They offered me another role, she said. A big one. The kind people dream about. But I told them I needed time. Keanu raised his eyebrows slightly. You turned it down? Not forever, she said. But I need space. To breathe. To grow. To To not rush into the next thing just because people expect me to? Keanu smiled with pride. That's brave. I learned it from you, she said. He looked at her. You taught yourself. I just held the space for you. They walked side by side across the soundstage floor, slow and quiet. No need to rush, no cameras following. Just two friends who had become something deeper than coworkers. Anna paused. Do you ever wonder why people cross paths? She asked. All the time, Keanu said. So why do you think we did? He thought for a moment. Maybe because I needed to remember what it meant to see someone. I needed to remember that you deserve to be seen. Anna blinked back tears. You were there when no one else was, she whispered. Not because you had to, but because you chose to. That's what real kindness is, he said. They reached the exit. Anna turned to him. You changed me. He gently shook his head. You changed yourself. I just made sure you didn't do it alone. She stepped forward and hugged him. Not the polite kind of hug people give on set, but a real one. Quiet, strong, grateful. He hugged her back, and for a moment the world stood still. When they pulled apart, there was nothing left to say. Only understanding. They walked out together into the sunlight. Outside, a few crew members were saying their goodbyes. Someone was laughing near the trailers, but the loudest sound was the silence between them, not heavy anymore, peaceful. Anna looked at the sky. A bird soared high above. I feel light, she said. You are, Keanu replied, because you finally stopped carrying what wasn't yours. She turned to him. Promise me something? Anything? Stay kind, stay quiet, stay you. Keanu smiled. Always. And with that they parted ways. Not as Kodash stars, not as just friends, but as two souls who met at the right time and reminded each other what it means to be human.